Welcome back, ghosts and ghouls, to day 3 of Vampire Week, where we are covering a new vampire-themed theory every day until Halloween. For today, we need to talk about finances and how vampires become so rich. All throughout media, we see vampires being portrayed as extremely wealthy. They have riches beyond anyone's wildest dreams. The vampire usually lives in some sort of castle, which would cost a lot of money. So, how can a vampire become so rich? Well, vampires tended to live around the 17th and 18th century in media. Around that time, trading, finance, agriculture, manufacturing, mining, and shipping were jobs that paid big. These jobs were rare for common folk, so the vampire would have to build up a reputation first. But once that was done, the vampire could, theoretically, get any of the jobs listed above, so long as it was a night shift. So, let's go down the list and see what would most likely be the case. Trading was when merchants would exchange goods. Items like textiles, spices, and other things of that nature. They could be exchanged for more valuable items, which then could be sold. Of course, that would require the vampire to either venture out in the sun and hope to get lucky, or hope that another merchant decides to attempt to trade in the middle of the night. This job doesn't seem likely, so we'll continue. Finance is when bankers and investors manage their money effectively. A vampire may be able to do this if they can manage their money well, but if doing so requires going to a bank, this likely would not work either, due to the fact that banks are open during the day. Agriculture is basically farming, producing crops, and then selling them. A vampire may be able to do this. One could manage the crops at night and water them right before sunrise. The issue here is finding a way to sell the crops. Selling at night isn't an option, so the vampire would have to hire someone else to do the selling during the day, perhaps. This is a potential, but let's continue. Manufacturing is similar to trading, except you are creating the items that are being sold. The vampire could purchase a factory and run the factory at night. There's a few issues here, though, as well. The vampire would still need to acquire the materials needed to make the items, and purchasing them at night most likely would not work. The vampire would also need a staff to help man the factory, and most people in that time period probably would not want to work the night shift. So, moving on. Mining is when one would buy a mine, go down into it regularly, and dig for ore and jewels. Now this could work, as mines are underground. The vampire would not have to worry about the sun, and can do this job by themselves. They can go down to the mine whenever they want. They could also build their house or castle over the entrance to the mine, to avoid the risk of being out in the sun at all. Once again, the issue lies in the selling portion. The vampire would have a hard time finding a buyer at night, even if it's for jewels and crystals. Finally, shipping is when those selling their items are selling across the nation or even the globe, and need to send the purchased items to the buyer. Once again, this could work, but shipping products at night could be a problem. Perhaps we're looking in the wrong place for acquiring wealth. Most jobs require some sort of daytime work, that which a vampire cannot do without running the risk of dying. So, hear me out. Inheritance is when your significant other or family member passes on and leaves money and items to you written in their will. Vampires live forever, so they could absolutely get with someone, win them over, wait until they die or slowly consume their blood over time until they pass, and receive their newly acquired inheritance. Then just move on to the next unsuspecting victim, until the vampire builds up a fortune. No day work required, just using their charm, their riz, if you will. Whatever way the vampire chooses, there's only one thing that matters. And this is for any vampire viewer that is watching this video. If you have been alive for centuries and you are still broke, just step into the sun. But leave your thoughts and theories in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.